Sponsored by Squarespace. In this episode, I'll be making an air balloon. No one. You sicko. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 37. Back in the day when I was just on Instagram, I used to make a lot of spaceships out of junk and people quite like that. And I realised I've only made one spaceship on my channel this year, so I'm going to make another one. It's going to have a purpose. It's going to be a spaceship / piece of terrain for my Stargrave team. But anyway, before we get onto that, I just want to introduce a new... Look, I was Googling how to have a successful YouTube channel, and everyone said get a cat. Apparently cats, you like cats. You like little cats. I don't think it's very safe for a cat here, but, you know, yeah, cats make your YouTube channel do good. That doesn't really make sense. Cats do well for your YouTube channel, apparently. Yeah, all we have to do is just bring out, you know, a cat knocks over a paintbrush and like, silly cat. Or jumps up when I'm in the middle of doing a piece to cat. You know, something like that, you know. You like cats. So, yeah, I got a cat. Say hello then. Oh, I mean, are they supposed to speak? I think this is one of those the rescue cats that Boris Johnson saved from Afghanistan before the humans. I was speaking to a friend. I won't tell you his name because he doesn't exist. But he said, to get more subscribers to your channel, it's all about the subscribers, you know, is to do a call to action early in the video. I usually leave it to the end when most of you have switched off. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you want to see more of Cat, click that subscribe button. And I've never said this before. Click that bell button. I didn't even notice there was a bell button. I had a look the other day, and yeah, there's a little bell button down there. And apparently you should click it. So, but anyway, that's my call to action, you know. While I'm here, join Patreon. You can donate some money below via PayPal to keep the channel going. You can buy merchandise. Look, there's all sorts of links down below that helps this channel happen. So, you know, maybe I'll get another cat. What? No, not replace you. I meant get another cat that you can play with. Replace him. I don't think he's even a real cat. Anyway. Now, the secret to building a good scratch-built spaceship is to have a lot of junk. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, you know. I have a lot of junk. So to make this junk usable as a material, you're going to need to sand it down with sandpaper or a sanding sponge. This basically gives it a bit of texture, somewhere for the paint to grip and the glue to grip, gives it some teeth. And I just use CA glue or super glue for pretty much the whole build. These are two shelves from a pound shop shelf unit I got for small bits and pieces. Actually, thinking about it, I'm probably not going to be able to explain where I got every single piece of junk from or what the piece of junk is. I know these are from a printer cartridge. But yeah, 80% of the junk on here, I won't know what it is, what it was used for. Maybe you can tell me. These are epoxy resin tubes, I know that. So much like my Doodlebot video a few months ago, I had no real plan with this. I basically just took interesting bits of rubbish, stuck it together like you would with Lego. You know, this is basically just trash Lego. The only requirement I had was that it looked like it could carry 10 28mm characters for Stargrave. Not literally, but you know. Now for the front of the ship, these dusk mask covers will probably do pretty well. This is quite an interesting shape. So along with all this trash and junk and bits and pieces, I'm going to be using a lot of, well, you know, takes super glue really well. I can cut it to whatever shape I want. It looks like plate metal when it's painted. I love the stuff. So I'm going to use a lot of this. Here, I actually use it to help kind of stick the front to the back. Yeah, I love EVA foam. I should probably talk about it more, but you know, I've got a creeping feeling there's going to be a sponsor. Oh, here it comes. So this episode is sponsored by Squarespace. Now, if you've ever wanted to make a website and you're not really sure how to do it, Squarespace is the place to go. Look, you get provided with hundreds of templates like these just here, and they're all pretty cool designs, I'll give them that. And say you want to make a website about pickles. Look, oh, there we go. There's a pickle website. You can literally open this up, change the names. There you go. You have a pickle website. So I decided to make a website of my own for bill making stuff. Now, I've made plenty of websites in the past, and I have to say that Squarespace is the easiest and most intuitive website builder I've ever used. It's so easy to get great effect. I mean, look at this. This took me like 5 minutes. So if you want to make a website, click on the link down below. There is a sale going on. There you go. And thank you there, Squarespace, for sponsoring the video. I appreciate it. I do, you know. Like I was saying, I said this to a few people the other day, you know. Most jobs, you don't have to remind your boss to pay you. But on YouTube, you kind of have to constantly remind your boss to pay you because the boss is you. And sponsored videos help me to kind of lay off that and stop shilling quite so much. I'm still going to shill, let's be honest. So this is a roll-on deodorant bowl. I mean, you could try and cut it in half with a saw, but it's quite hard. My wife bought me this for Christmas. It's a sanding machine thing. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's, yeah, a lifesaver. I love it. Now, in pretty much every single scratch build I've ever made, I've used a piece from a spray bottle, and this piece makes a perfect window. So again, you can see there, I'm using a bit of EVA foam as kind of a filler between the bits of plastic. My son always gives me the plastic egg from his Kinder Egg chocolate toy thing, and yeah, he never leaves the toy in there. Typical, that's very typical. You know, most children, like up to a certain age, they basically are just selfish sociopaths. You know, they have no remorse or empathy. It's just a fact, you know. Parents know what I'm talking about. So the original plan wasn't to kind of recreate the drop ship from Aliens, but it kind of was going that way. It kind of looks a bit like the drop ship from Aliens, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think these are like squirty ends for like an icing tube. I don't know. People give me a lot of junk. So for fun, I usually make weird transitions in my edits, and I'm going to warn you, there's going to be one right now. I don't know why I do it. I think I just do it for fun in the edit. Anyway, shouldn't have to explain myself. These are some weird pipe things that came with that conduit tube I used on that giant scratch built robot I did. I'll put a link. No, I won't. I say I'll put a link, I probably won't. Now these are some lids from some pens that I had. They make really good like exhausts. But never throw away an empty pen. Keep the plastic, keep the tube, keep the lid. There's loads of good bits in a pen. Actually, don't throw away anything, like this old conduit tube. This is another spray bottle part. I'm thinking of doing the spray bottle challenge again this year. You know, I did it last year with Gert and Miniature Hobbyist. And I'm thinking maybe get a few other people and we can do another one. What do you think? Let me know. Just don't go on about airships. That's why I ask. So this is part of a hair curler. I love hair curlers. They have really good kind of patterns on them, and they look very machiney, if you know what I mean. And this thing here is well, it's part of a blow bubble gun, a bubble gun that blows bubbles. My son had some from a party, and this was the nozzle. Pretty cool. So everyone and their mum knows that lids make the best jet engines or rocket engines, whatever it is. That's the bit that the fire comes out and goes poof poof, you know, that bit. But these are from a detergent bottle, I think. Maybe, I don't know. I get given a lot of lids as well. Talking about being given stuff, someone gave me a bag full of these things. I'm not really sure what they are. They've got some really good texture on them. They're good for like metal panels. Maybe if someone knows what they are, they can tell me in the comments down below. But they're going to be my landing gear feet. Do you ever have one of those days where you just don't remember what anything's called? and then you decide to kind of narrate a YouTube video on that day, and you're building like a spaceship thing with technical parts, and anyway. So you may be thinking, Bill, you're using a lot. Oh, let me turn this. I've left the glue gun on. It's one of those glue guns that don't turn off unless you unplug it. Anyway, you may be wondering, Bill, are you using a lot of that super glue accelerant? I am, and last time I used it, I didn't wear a mask, and it made me feel a little bit sick. So this time I've been wearing a mask the whole time, so I would recommend wearing a mask, and I feel a lot better. Less headaches, less worry of cancer. I don't know if the stuff gives you cancer. Don't hold me to that. That's what all my patrons are telling me. But then again, I think there's probably... this whole room is probably carcinogenic in some way. What do you think, Kat? Oh, shut up. Do you remember when I said earlier, keep all your empty plastic pens? Well, these are some plastic felt tip pens that are empty, and I'm going to cut them down for some metal pipes. Told you, didn't I? It's that old saying of always keep your empty plastic pens for scratch building robots and spaceships. You know, that old chestnut. So I was in two minds whether this thing needed wings or not, and I eventually came to the conclusion, yeah, maybe like just the glimpse of a wing somewhere. So I cut some out of this foam board that I had lying around. As we all know, you don't use super glue on foam, but this foam board's okay on the outside. That paper part is fine to be super glued, just not that bit in between. And the same goes with spray paint, which I should have told myself, because I spray it later and dissolve the inside of the wing. But you know, we don't need to go on about that. But in all honesty, yeah, if you're going to use this foam board and you're going to spray it, try and seal that little edge there with a bit of Mod Podge or a bit of PVA glue, something like that. Now you may say I have a certain aesthetic. You know, I like my machines to be kind of chunky and clunky and beaten up and kind of like, you know, ramshackled, you know, hodgepodged, whatever. I'm going to be sticking a lot of EVA foam plates over this thing, like it's been patched over and over again. And lots of wires and probably rivets, probably quite a lot of rivets. We'll see how we go. So recently I've been using kind of elastic hairbands as cables, and yeah, they look quite good. They've got a nice ridge pattern on them, but you can't really bend them in shape. I prefer using this green guard-on wire, just bending it in shape, and it sticks pretty well. And again, we're going to use some parts of a spray bottle. These are the triggers. One piece of junk that I would always say keep is the end of a spray bottle. You know, it's so versatile, so many bits in there you can use. And then just keep all the other junk as well, obviously. But I guess what I'm saying is just keep all junk. You know, save the landfills. Don't put any more junk in the landfills. Just turn your house into a landfill. You know, there, problem solved. It's always one of my favourite parts of the build when it actually starts to look like something. So I was watching Adam Savage on Tested, and he was talking about a greebly board, and I wanted to take that a step further. You know, I got this little tiny cheese board thing. I think it's a cheese board from the pound shop, and I kind of wanted to make it into my own greebly board. I don't do good with wood. I mean, that could be a t-shirt, couldn't it? But I'm going to use this Dremel tool to kind of try and carve out dishes. Anyway, look, I'll just show you. I also don't measure because this thing doesn't fit at all, but oh, there we go. A perfect circle. Look at that. I do impress myself sometimes. So I figured I'd make 3 compartments, like a small one for, I don't know, small rivets, one for medium-sized greebly bits, and one for bigger greebly. You know, I didn't really think about it too much. So I ended up with a ton of sawdust, so I thought I'd keep that. I could probably make some flock with that later on. And here we have my monstrosity of a greebly board. You know, it's, yeah, I couldn't get it smooth. I think this wood is incredibly tough, cheap wood. It might even be plastic now. I'm pretty sure it's wood. But yeah, my rivets go in there. The medium-sized greeblies go there. The bigger ones go... Like I said, it works, okay? And the super glue goes in that little dish. I mean, I'll probably replace that with just like a little bowl of tin foil because, you know, I'm not made of metal dishes. Anyway, let's give it a little go and see if it works out. So I'm going to need some rivets. And, you know, I'm looking for cheap sources of styrene plastic. And these butter tubs, or margarine tubs, whatever you have, make pretty good styrene sheets. I'm pretty sure it's made out of styrene. Anyway, you take one of these and you kind of use one of these 1mm hole punches, you know, one of these, and you make all the rivets you want. Now I've used a lot of cheap plastics to try and create these little rivets, and this stuff works the best. You know, it's a perfect little circle, you know, there's no frayed edges, so give it a go, you know. Butter tubs. All about the butter. So that's right, it's greebly time. It's time to stick some greeblies. And yeah, I'm probably going to go with a riveted look. You know, I want this thing to have a few rivets. Just a few. Anyway, let's see how we go. I haven't overdone it, have I? Anyway, hair curlers. Let's start using some hair curlers. This is what I like to call the hair curler pass. I don't really. But hair curlers work best when you cut them into little pieces like this. I'll show you how. Just wanted to check if the greebly tray is still working. Yep, the greeblies are definitely still on there. I mean, there's no rules to greebling up, you know, just make your thing look more detailed and interesting, basically. That's the rule. Actually, there is a rule. Yeah, make it look more interesting. So here is some granny grating, or just people grating. I don't know, Studson called it something like that, to not offend the grannies, because he's such a nice boy. Anyway, I used it as little vent bits for, you know, these kind of tubey vent exhaust bits. Build good with words today. So I kind of want to make the landing gears look a bit chunkier, and it wouldn't be a bill build if there wasn't a bead. If there's no beads in a bill build, it ain't. I think I need a coffee. So obviously I want to make these landing gears look like they're kind of operational with hydraulics and things like that. And I want it to look like there's a kind of gear here, you know. And you do that easily by sticking something flat and round sideways on, like it's a hinge of some kind. Anyway, more felt tip pens. So I'm just going to stick this one here. Pew pew, pew pew, bang bang bang. So with Christmas / the holidays just gone, I picked up some Christmas / holiday wire from the pound shop. As you know, this Christmas / holiday wire is my favourite wire, so try and pick some up. Or ask big fat holiday / Christmas man to bring you some under your Christmas / holiday tree. Whatever. Let's start destroying this build, shall we? So I recently got this Pyrography tool, and it's perfect for adding dents and holes and scratches in this EVA foam. This thing is like a dropship. I imagine it keeps dropping into like war zones and gets shot to pieces. That's why it's got so many plates on it. That's the reasoning why it looks like a mess. Also, I really have to kind of stop myself from, denting it up too much. Oh, too late. Oh, and it didn't stop there. I started melting the plastic because, it looks really cool. Obviously, wear a mask when you're doing this. So, too much? Too much? Do you think too much? Maybe too much, Bill? Maybe? I don't know, too much? No, I don't know. Anyway, it's that time. Close the curtains, light a candle, let's relax and get ready for some priming porn. Here we go. Was that good for you? I mean, yeah, it was good for me. It was yeah, that was some, I'm a little bit out of breath, but that's because of the fumes from the spray paint. Anyway, I've got to go. Bye-bye. I made a post on YouTube the other day about, would you like me to keep my mistakes in? I usually do, but I thought, I felt so bad about my mistake, I thought I should check with you lot first. It's not a mistake that you can't fix, I'm going to fix it, but should I show you the embarrassing mess I made on camera? It's basically, the paint job was an absolute atrocious mess. I had a sleepless night thinking about it, and you know me, I don't like painting. But I went back and, anyway, just watch the video. Let's get on with the painting. What cat? Food? What do cats eat? So I'm trying to put together a Stargrave team so I can actually play the game, and I've only put a few together so far, but I thought I'd introduce them to you. This is Wolf Walton. He's the scout of the team. He's a dog man, but he doesn't like to be considered a sniffer dog. He gets very uppity about that. And my second guy is this handsome chap with a jetpack. His name is Jetpack Jack, because he has a jetpack and his name is Jack. He likes to just jump around everywhere, shooting everyone. If you're wondering, I kit bashed all of these people using Stargrave kits, and this is probably my favourite. This is my sniper monkey. He sits in the shadows. His name is Sergeant PG Tipper, and he snipes from a distance, but when he sees someone, he gets quite excited, as chimpanzees do, and makes a loud noise, and everyone sees him. But that's the crew so far. They're not perfect, but these are the colours I used for them mainly. I used a lot of sky grey, a lot of olive green, and a lot of red, and I'm figuring I need to kind of apply those colours to my spaceship, hence why I'm talking about it. Anyway, let's get painting. So I primed the whole model in a silver spray paint, and I'm going to go firstly with this red paint. I think the whole ship's going to be mainly red, but let's see. So I like to dab the paint on. I don't like to completely paint to the edges. I like to keep some of that metal exposed. But to be honest with you, I think at this point I started to realise that silver may not be a good choice of undercoat. It kind of shines through the paint and makes the paint look a bit metallic. It doesn't look very good. Anyway, let's keep going. I use a bit of gunmetal grey on the metal parts to kind of dull them down a bit. Still not looking great. I'm not really happy with this. So I figured I'd use a bit of a dry brush of metal all over the whole thing to kind of bring out those rivets and the edges of the plates and bits like that. Yeah, it's just not really working the way I kind of wanted it to work. You know what, sometimes you can't tell until you start painting the other colours in, the gold for the stars, maybe start adding some of the details in that will break up the big red shiny mess. Let's see if that works. I even decided to, colour a few plates, a few different colours, like they've been replaced with, newer plates or older plates. And I thought I'd add a bit of green in here, in a few other places. And it looks like a piece of shit. Yeah, I don't like it. I've messed this up completely. It looks like if Santa Claus had a dropship. It looks like, like a shiny, horrible Christmas decoration. All right, I'm gonna spray again. So this time I went for a dark spray undercoat, and I'm going to go for an olive green, more like the dropship from Aliens. So using a bit of olive green and some tan, I dry brushed this whole thing in a lighter green to bring out those details. So, as you all know, I don't really like the painting part of the build. It's not my favourite part, and messing this thing up once and having to paint it all again was a bit of a nightmare. But I think I made the right choice. Well, I know I made the right choice. It's that last thing. Oh, jeez. But dry brushing that light green really brought out all the detail that I wanted to be brought out, and you know, it will just look neater, matter. You know, you always want everything to look matte, really. You don't want that kind of shiny metallic. Glossy is the word. You don't want it to look kind of glossy. It makes it look kind of cheap. If that's, I don't know. That's what I think. Anyway, I used some stencils. If you're going to use some stencils, make sure you do it before you apply the oil wash, because you want the, you know, the painted stencil to be just as dirty as the rest of your ship. So when I'm going to do some oil washes, I always replace my silicone mat with a piece of card, because mineral spirits and white spirit reacts badly with silicone for some reason. Anyway, you know, take a bit of oil paint, mix a bit of white spirit in there, and you've got yourself an oil wash. Now, I know some people can be quite, you know, delicate with this stuff, but I like to just paste it all over, to be honest, and wipe away the excess later. Anyway, I think that will just about do it. Let's wait for this to dry, and I'll see you in a minute. Oh, well, I'm quite happy with this. I think it, you know, I was, you know, like I told you, I had a sleepless night in the middle where I painted it like a Christmas themed dropship, but no, I'm glad I repainted it. Went with the old olive green, and you know, it was kind of inspired by a dropship in Aliens, so I mean, the colour suits. And I went a bit crazy with the oil washes. I went in with all the little dents and the damage. I went in there with a black oil wash off camera, because the cat switched off the camera. I'm going to blame everything on the cat now. Also, the window, you might wonder, how do you keep spraying it, Bill, and the window's still exposed? Well, I kind of spray it. When it's fresh, I scrape away the paint on the window here, so you still kind of see a bit of transparency. But not enough that you can actually see through, but it still looks like a window. A tip I probably should have stuck in the video there. You know, it's a good job of making videos about scratch building, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, you know, I kind of thought for a laugh, I will answer every single comment on this video. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I'm telling you that. But yeah. All right. Every single comment that you post on this video, I will answer in some way or another. And to be honest with you, I'm actually quite relieved. It's nothing worse than you spend a long time scratch building something and then Bill comes along and ruins it with a paint job. And you can look at it properly in the glamour shots, which are coming up right now. Shut up, cat. You got to feed them every day. So I'm so glad I decided to repaint this thing. You know, I really like it now. It is a bit beaten up. It's a bit maybe overly damaged, but I think it just adds character. Anyway, what do you think? Comments down below. I will answer every comment for some stupid reason. And thank you very much, patrons. I couldn't do this without you. If anyone would like to become a patron and be credited at the end of this video, then please join the Patreon down below. Click that link. Until next time, I'll see you.